Hi. We're back with the Knowing You show. Today I have Victoria on the line and we're going to do an amazing show together. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Okay, so Victoria is an internationally best-selling author in a matter of seconds, healing and shamanism teacher, spiritual leader, and host of the Divine Sexuality podcast. I love the content. Okay, she's helped thousands of women around the world to access greater fulfillment in their lives and help others do the same through energy healing and spirituality. She and I really have a nice bond and like interconnectedness on our healing philosophies and spirituality. So I'm excited about that. Victoria emphasizes divine spirituality as the most powerful philosophy she teaches because it is at the foundation of femininity and womanhood. Divine sexuality facilitates women's ability to positively relate to their bodies, to their partners, and to their sexuality. So, with this juicy topic, we have Victoria here.
Hi, how are you, Tiffany? And hi, everybody. I'm so happy to connect here. It's going to be a juicy conversation.
Yes, indeed. Caliente.
Latina.
Yes, indeed. For those of you who are new to the Knowing You show, I do interview people in my empathic community. And today, I'm bringing on Hot Mama Victoria so we can talk about divine sexuality. And, let this be a fun conversation. And if you guys have any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat. Now, in order for us to actually see your chat, though, you're going to have to give permission to Facebook and StreamYard to post it. Okay, so just as a little heads up there in case you want to make some comments. So, Victoria, what does divine sexuality mean? In your opinion, because I know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you?
And that's something important, what it means for each of us. As women, we are all a little bit different. So that means that we might have our own personal expression of what sexuality and divine sexuality is. So from the framework I work with, what divine sexuality is a way for us to reconnect with our femininity, to rekindle our sexuality, to reconnect with our bodies, even with our sisterhood, really starting bringing those relationships with other women that create an amazing support. So some of the things is also that sexuality in general sometimes is like down there, like something shameful or that we feel guilty about. We have so many taboos. So with divine sexuality, we can elevate sexuality and everything related to it out of the gutter. So that means sexuality is not just about sex itself, but also about what it is to be a woman. So I work in general with only women, and it's about our gender issues, our connection with our bodies, as I was mentioning, so that we can elevate sexuality. And that means that we can start experiencing it in a more positive way, redefining it, making sure that we don't get into the traps that sometimes prevent us from enjoying a life of ecstasy. So all this goodness.
Wonderful. And what brought you to want to teach divine sexuality? I mean, this is a juicy topic that, not everybody is equipped to do publicly. So talk to me about what led you to want to lead this as your main, teaching.
Yeah, it has been a long journey, Tiffany. You have no idea. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I grew up in Spain, so it was a dictatorship. So that means that we were very censored at all levels. So it was an ultra conservative regime, and sex was only for procreation. So if you were thinking of sex without being for procreation, it was sinful. And then women were almost like second class. So it was like our highest aspiration was to be a good wife and serve our husband. That was the vision. So I grew up in that situation, and obviously as a woman, I didn't feel so empowered. I didn't feel reassured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I noticed, well, I grew up with three women, which means that there were men under our roof. So that was also part of, wow, we don't have it very well here. So I don't want to be a woman anymore. I just want to be like a man, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be as strong as a man, and I'm going to just learn from men. So I did, and I made it into primetime television. I achieved amazing things. And then at the same time, there was always something missing. In 1997, I had a near-death experience followed by a Kundalini awakening, and that kind of switched things. So I started in energy healing. So in 2000, I started in energy healing. It was a new discovery. And finally, in 2010, I started helping other people more consciously, because I was doing healing. But in 2010, 2011, I started my school. And that is where everything changed. So I was full on in healing, and I was so happy, so connected. My students were doing amazing. And my connection with my husband wasn't where I wanted it. So
Oh
I'm
no.
no, it wasn't, because for me, the part of spirituality and the part of, I come from being a dancer, a martial artist, and that connected me with my body. But when I started with healing, it connected me with my childhood, with this idea of spirituality being not related to sexuality, right? So that then I disconnected from that. And then also by being more in the ethereal realms, I didn't connect so much with my physical body. Even though I did grounding and all of this, I just didn't feel so much sexual desire, just putting it bluntly. So my relationship with my husband wasn't the same, and I just had to do something, because this was very important for me. So I started searching, and finally I started discovering that I could relate to my sexuality in a way that truly was so necessary for me, to reconnect. And that's what transformed it for me. So it was interesting, because I was teaching Reiki and other things, crystal healing, shamanism, many other things to my students. And suddenly I said, well, for the women in the course, I'm offering divine sexuality. This is a new thing. So would you like to give it a try? And I had the most amazing experiences by these women joining. And then I realized that sometimes as business women, even goes even deeper, because sometimes we are used to the masculinity of business. And we,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
we squash down our femininity, and then what happens is that we almost don't remember that we are feminine, our self-care, or that we have a power that is amazing as women. So that's why I chose divine sexuality. I feel as women, we need this. Like, we need to make peace and heal it for our next generations.
And do you find that this is for single women, for women in partnership? Like, who is this actually for?
That's an amazing question, and thank you for asking, because sometimes women say, no, no, this is not for me because I am single, or I am gay, or I am, any situation. I'm not interested in relationships, whatever it is. But truly, this is about being a woman, and this is an experience that is within ourselves. So that means that any woman can benefit from it. It doesn't matter that they are married, that they are single, that they want to be single, that they are gay, that they are straight, even the age. Like, I have women coming from their 20s up to their 60s. Sometimes they come and they are part of the same family, so mother, daughter. So, which is beautiful, because it's that generational healing. And it's all about women. So it's any woman that wants to connect with their divine feminine and sexuality.
And talk to me about the process and the experience that women will feel and go through working with you.
Yes, so there are 5 hidden traps that we work with. Sometimes, yeah. So my approach to divine sexuality is not so much, I'm going to teach you a posture to make love or anything like that. No, it's not about that. It's more about how can we, by releasing the negative connotations around sexuality, and by understanding our subconscious beliefs, and by understanding our how we feel about our bodies. Like maybe sometimes we don't feel comfortable of, oh, I should look like this one or like that one, because we have all this conditioning. And then maybe we had sexual abuse, sexual shame. So we need to go through that. So there are specifically 5 hidden traps that we go through in order to truly understand and heal each of them. And then after that is something natural that we reconnect with sexuality fully, because sexuality is natural for us. If we see animals out there, like I have a garden right here in front of me, so I'm seeing bears and squirrels, and they don't have any problem with sexuality, right?
Right.
It's something that is natural for us. It's only our conditioning and our experience and our trauma that is difficulting our connection with this. So we go through a process of 5 weeks in which we reveal each of these hidden traps and we heal them. So at the end of this, you are in the ecstatic experience.
Oh, how wonderful. That sounds juicy. I know that I've been through, worked with a lot of women who've had sexual trauma, sexual abuse, or even trauma with pregnancy or giving birth and delivery, and how much that can affect their sense of self-worth and identity as a woman and ability to feel sexy and beautiful and sensual in their partnership, and it affects their body image. So I'm really glad to see that you're helping in these kinds of ways, because I think it's really needed. And yeah. When I see people who are carrying this trauma and those negative energies like throughout their life, sometimes it ends up manifesting as, cancer and major ailments and illnesses and diseases. So it's really good that you're doing this work to clear out those kinds of traumas and negativity and poor experiences that people have had. So thank you for doing this work. And I'm curious, when did you come over here from Spain?
Yes, so I came in 2004, and it was like a crazy adventure. I didn't know any English. I didn't have a car, which in Los Angeles is kind of necessary. It was just something from my heart. I'm very like that. Like I do things because my heart is telling me yes, and I know the universe is saying yes. Okay, so I just jumped into the US, and it has been already 16 years. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. I wasn't able to practice as much healing when I first came, because I didn't have the groups that I had in Spain. But at the same time, I was very connected with my entertainment career. So I was doing television, I was doing tours, I was performing in Hollywood, and that was how I lived for a few years here, and doing martial arts, which for me is a counterpart of healing arts.
Nice. Yeah, and you have major views on your martial arts. How did you accomplish that? Like 6 million views. Oh my That's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I feel that, when we allow ourselves to follow our desires and truly do things from our heart, things come to fruition. Because I wasn't, like, for example, my husband, he started martial arts when he was 4. But I have barely started martial arts when I came here. So that means that in, let's say, December, I started martial arts. In February, I was here. in March, I was already performing and doing things. And then suddenly I was in a troupe. We went to India to perform with ESPN. And I performed in Universal Studios. Everything started just coming. So I started just creating videos with everything that I was doing. And then finally I created my own productions. And I really loved it so much and put so much love and passion into it that it just, I feel it manifested. People loved it. So they started just following me. I became almost like a personality in martial arts. And it was just, I feel that when we are passionate and dedicated as well, like it took discipline, of course, it wasn't out of the blue. But yes, it just happened and it was amazing. And the good thing is that it continues. So that means that I'm not pursuing that right now, but still I have tons of views every single week right now.
Wow, that's so great. I think, okay, and you can feel into this for yourself, and maybe you already know, but I think you've already had past lives in martial arts. And as a healer. That's my read on you. Does that feel right to you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a warrior. Like I was even go as far as saying that I have a lot of masculine energy and it's very warrior like. And the way in which I grew up, that is like it had to be that way in a sense, because I was in a ghetto-like neighborhood. We were only women, so I really needed to stand up for myself. So that means that yes, I have a lot of that, and I totally can see that coming from before. That's with more reason why I needed to embody my feminine, because it was there. It was there, and it's so strong. And at the same time, the masculine was required. So yeah, for sure, healing. Since I was 11, I started doing some work with that. Although just for friends and my mom's friends and things like that. But yeah, absolutely, you're right on point, Tiffany.
And is it because of your own struggles that is what had you then want to say, okay, I want to work primarily with women? Like, is that what drew you to this work?
I feel that's an interesting question, because I feel that it's a very interesting relationship about genders. So first I was teaching martial arts. As I mentioned, I was tomboy completely, learning from men, no female friends. And then I was teaching martial arts. So that means for some reason, 90% of my students were men. Whereas then I switched with healing, and it's like, what the? Now everybody's like women coming to my class. So I didn't realize it's like, I don't get along so well with women. But then I realized, I started developing the relationship, and I learned to love that sisterhood. Because sometimes sometimes my classes would be only women, and it was like such energy that I really liked it. Even though I grew up with 3 women, as I mentioned, so I should be used to that. I went to an only girls school, but then I delved so much into the masculine that I was forgetting about my feminine. So I believe that that's why I'm connecting with it so much, the feminine. At the same time, I have a lot of men that actually reach out. So I know that at some point I will be helping them. I just feel that if I work with women, they have more possibilities to bring the nurturing aspect to their families, and maybe working with men will be later.
Nice. And for those of you who want to start working with you and getting exposure to you, do you have a free gift for them?
I do. So I have this Divine Sexuality book. So it's an ebook that you can download. I just printed it so that you can see.
Is that you? I can't quite tell on the front.
Yes, it is me. It is me.
Pretty.
Yes, so it has. I'm very visual, and I was also a graphic designer among 1,000 other things. So I have created it so that you can, tap into the feminine just by looking at it. But also, of course, it has information about the 5 hidden traps that prevents us for living that life of ecstasy and becoming an ecstatic woman.
Nice.
And I
Okay.
believe that you have a link for that. So if anybody wants it, they can download it for free.
I did put it in the description. So they should be able to just see it right there in the description and click on that. But let me see if I can put it here in the chat to make it nice and easy.
Nice.
Okay, free gift. All right, and there's my affiliate link to your free gift. Did it show up? Oh, Karen Bryanson. Victoria is awesome.
Thank you. How sweet.
Okay. Okay, and here's the free gift, and yeah, just pick that up. It's if you need a little, sexuality, sensuality, femininity, divine flow, and healing. I think that, starting with this free ebook is a great way to go.
Yeah, sometimes we don't even realize because we are so indoctrinated to stay in our masculine, and our mind starts racing like all these obligations, and it's like, where is the feminine? Just taking a breath, enjoying, and having that nourishing for ourselves.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And everyone, please do take advantage of her free ebook. And I will, you and I will be in touch. And I'm so looking forward to the friendship that we've started to cultivate. And I think that there's clients and students that each of us will probably be referring to one another, and I'm just looking forward to play dates with you as well, since we're both in Southern California.
No, we're super close, Tiffany. So close. That's amazing.
All right. So anyone else who wants to be interviewed on the Knowing You show, just reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you out and get you booked. I actually have a lot of people booked, so it might not be until October or end of September before I can get you in. But this has been really fun, and I want to keep bridging the gap so that we can really get to know one another at a deeper level in this spiritual empathic community, and develop friendships and even do business with people that we like, and have a great support system. So that's my overall goal for us here.
That was beautiful.
Well, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and bye for now.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.